Now this time they ask me the retained income note. I just want to see if it would be possible to do, yes. Before I do the retained income note, I'm going to do the ordinary share capital note as well. I'm firstly going to do that, so you don't have an answer sheet for that, just bear with me. I just want to make sure that you understand the ordinary share capital note. So the ordinary share capital note, this side is rand, this side is units. I will always have the opening and the closing. It would work like this. This is the line. Okay? And in between would be issue or purchase, but I don't know up until I see. So if I look here, they give me, in this case, they gave me the opening. It's 816,0,000. But they didn't give me any information for the closing like they did with the previous exercise. You see that? So now, let's go to what they tell me here. And here they tell me, I'll just fold it nicely. Here they tell me, on the 1st of March, there was 1.2 million shares in issue. Okay. Then new shares were issued, 400,000. Can you see? Issued at 10 rand. So that gives me what? 400,000. Then they say 34,000. 4 million. 34,000 was repurchased. Now what do I want? I want the average price. Okay? Now, can you see what do I need? I would either need, so if I draw a line through this, here like this, the average price would either be the closing. I take the closing, the rand divided the units, then I get the average. But can you see I don't have that? So the other alternative is I take the opening plus the issued. So I say, what is that? 12,160 divided 1.6. Can you see? What did I do? So I did either I work the average like this, or I work the average like, you get it? So now, if I say 12,160 divided 16,000,000, what's my average? 7.60. Like that. Okay. And now I say 34 times 760. It's going to give me how much? Okay. So let's go again. If I say I have 10 shares the start of the year, opening, at 2 rand each, then this would give me 20. Now I issue 2 shares at 3 rand. Can you see that gives me 6? Okay, now I repurchase 3, but I don't know the average. Okay, and then I know my closing here is going to be 9, but I don't know the rand value. So usually I can say this one here divided 9 gives me the average. But now because I don't have that one, I can't use that method. So I do another one. I say, okay, that 26 divided by 12, you see, is going to give me this average. So, and then actually what's interesting, if you work out this question mark, that question mark divided the 9 is also going to give you that. Okay. So, what is 760 times 34? 25, 400. Okay. There's two ways to find the average. Yes. Yes. So everything on top or at the bottom. The problem comes in if I have, can I move it up? The problem comes in if I have the opening, the repurchase, the issue, and the closing. Can you see now the repurchase and the issue swaps? Then the only way for me to get that average is to say the opening, the rand divided the units. Then it's only got one method. There's no other method, because the moment I issue, the average price changes. Okay. So let's go through this again. If I have opening, issue, repurchase, closing, I've got two methods to get the average. I can either say the closing, rand divided units, or I can say the opening plus issue, rand divided units. If they give it to me opening, repurchase, issue, closing, I can only get it by saying opening, rand divided unit. Okay. Did I answer your question? Are you shocked now? Okay. So now let's do the retained. So the retained, please guys, it's my net profit after tax. Repurchase of shares, then it's my dividends, interim, and final. And you guys must really start abbreviating, because oh, it must be. Just take another book. So you guys need to start finishing, because that's your biggest problem, is you work too slow. Okay. So let's have a look. So now what do they give me? They give me the net profit after tax as a question. Oh, and now I want to cry, because what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I need to go see. Oh, they did give me the income tax. So at least I got that. Did they give me a percentage? So I go look. Do they talk about tax somewhere, giving me a percentage? Isn't it right in the front? How will I get net profit after tax? Operating profit, I still need my... I see. I've got my operating profit and I've got my interest. Is there interest here? No. Why don't they give me a... Come on guys, help me here. Don't let me sit here and struggle. Help me here. Can you see any way that I can get net profit after tax? So the only ways I can get net profit after tax is if they give me net profit before, and they give me tax, then I get after, That's the one method. The other method is they have to give me a percentage. Did they give me either one? No. So am I going to keep on trying to figure this out? No. Most probably it's going to be a balancing figure. Because can you see they gave me the opening? Did they give me the closing for retained income? Also not. Oh my goodness. What must I flip? Okay. No, they didn't. But let's fill in what we can. So the repurchase, I've already calculated how many shares are repurchased. 34,000. And they say it's above average, R1.90. So that gives me what? Okay. Interim dividends, they say total dividends, blah, blah, blah. They give me interim like this. 416. Now, how can I get final? Oh, I see. Interim plus final gives me total. They already gave me total. So what's my final? I'm just going to minus. So this gives me you see.
The net profit after tax.
Yes.
Can't we say total dividends, which is 744,860 times 100 over the 40%? Because they said the dividends payout rate of the year ended was 40% after all transactions were correctly recorded. So we can say 744,860 times 100 over 40.
Okay, so what she's saying is it gets a little bit more complicated. And that's not what we're doing here today. Right? But what she's saying is right. She used the dividend payout policy. Because what is the dividend payout policy? It's your net profit after tax over shares. You see? So times 100. So then you can work it back. But that's not why we're here today. Right? Yeah. We are not here today because that is an extremely high order. Well done for seeing it. Okay. So I'm going to leave it just here.
This is one point which is weak, because sometimes you have to minus.
Okay, so the thing is, remember we did the ordinary share capital note. Ne? So usually if they didn't give you the amount, they will give you something to do where you can see the amount. They will either give it to you or they'll ask the ordinary share capital note like the previous question, and you have to balance on the repurchase share. Okay.
So if they say repurchase 8, we know that's the one who's
So they say this is 1.9. Just be careful. They say it's 1.9 above average. So that's the retained income one.
above average.
Retained, so let me repeat again. Your ordinary share capital is always the average. Your retained income is always the above average. Your cash flow, ne, is always the total. Okay, always remember that.
So let's say you give us...
No, he's still busy talking.
Let's say they give us average, right?
Yes.
They give us, let's say 7.6, right? So you know what is going to transfer it. Now, we want the average.
Okay, so the above average, they can't. So for the above average, if they don't tell you it's R1.90, ne, they would have to give you the total price you paid, ne, and they would have to give you a means to calculate the average so that you can get the difference between the two. So this is how a lot of exercises went, where they say, we repurchase the shares at R10.90. And then you guys all put the R10.90 in the capital. That's the total. Then you do your note, your capital note, and you calculate the average, which is most probably then something like R9. You see? And then the R10 that they gave you, the R10.20 less the 9, that's the above average that goes to your return. Okay. So let's rather go on to the things we can do. Please do not waste your time on stuff that goes like, I can't find it. And the moment you feel like you're getting, move, because there's other things you can do. So here we go. Cash flow from operations, interest paid, what do we have? Dividends paid, tax paid. And the dividends paid, I know, it's the interim and the opening. And the opening, I go look for shareholders, and I look what is the opening balance there, which they did not give me. Okay, but that's where you would have found it. Okay? So now they have to give me it in a different way, and this is how they do it. Remember, this opening here, the old year is always the opening, the new year is the closing. So this opening, this is last year's final. You agree? It would be 2023 final. So now if I go look here, can you see 28 February 2023? Can you see this is the opening balance? Okay, so I need to calculate that. The interim I already got in this case. They will always give you one of the two. So that 416 already gives you a mark, right? But now we need to calculate the opening. How are we going to do that? How many shares were on issue the last day of last year? Oh, the same as the first year of this year, which is 1.2 million. So it's going to be the 1.2 million times, and they say 17 cents. So what's the total there? $20,000. There we go. So this gives me 620. Okay.
How do you know where shares stayed the same?
Because there's literally midnight, 28 February 2023, it was 1.2 million. So in accounting, we always assume the last day equals the first day. Because they literally work like a second before midnight and a second after midnight. So nothing happened. Yes. The what? Okay, so the opening, I know the opening is last year's final dividend, right? Usually they give it to me as shareholders for dividends, the opening balance. This time they gave to me how to calculate the final of last year, né? Which means this is the opening balance. You see? And I know they say it's 17 cents, and if I go look there, they told me I had 1.2 million the beginning of this year, meaning I had 1.2 million the end of last year. Okay. So, next one. Then you would just use it. Then you don't do nothing. Then you would just, then they would literally have given you the 204. So they could have done it like this. It could have said 204,000. So then when you look, 204,000, 204,000. Interim, 416. Does that make sense? Okay. I just quickly want to send it. That's it. Yes. Okay. Is there light bulbs going up? Okay, that's good. Okay. Everybody happy? Can I go to tax? So if I go to tax, I draw my T. Please, you do, and can you see they actually give you a big line. This is copied exactly from the answer sheet. So they give you big enough lines to someone do the T there. You see? So I start opening and a closing and a bank and an income tax. Receivable and payable, receivable and payable. Can you see I work in a block? Choo, choo, choo. Okay. Now, let's just quickly revise. They can give it to me as a current asset, or they can say it's a debit balance. Then they are talking about receivables. They can give it as a current liability or a credit balance. Then they are actually referring to payables. Okay. So now let's go look. So I see my tax is 462. I can somewhat quickly put that in. Then I already got one tick. Can you see you always use the tax in the income statement? Right. Okay. Now, balance sheet. Let's go look. Where do they give me shareholders for dividends? Now, can you see? This time they uses the debits and the credits. So, I know a credit is a payable, a debit is a receivable. I know 2023 is the opening, 2024 is the closing. So in other words, the opening is a payable. Payable is credit, ne? 44,675. The closing is a receivable, which is also on the credit side. Can you see that debit doesn't show me the sides of the T. It indicates to me, is this a receivable or if is this a payable? Okay, so now I see it's also receivable. 66650. So I'm going to add all of that. Isn't there extra answer sheet for you, please? Okay, so brackets, how much is this? 57? 325. Okay. And like in the June paper, they could have said here at the bottom, tax paid for the year is 573 whatever, ne? Can you see it's not the same? Can you see this time I paid more than I owed, and that's why I have a debit balance. SARS needs to pay me back.
Also, you just transfer the savings, the pay. Yes.
Okay, so cash from financing, don't get confused. Financing is funds. It's not investments. Investments is the 3 F's. Buy fixed assets, sell fixed assets, increase, decrease, fixed deposit. Financing is the money. So it would be buy shares, sell shares. Now I want to say sell shares. I can't do. Increase, decrease, loan. And the decrease is negative because I'm paying it back. Okay. So now let's go look. We already, can I just quickly borrow my ordinary share capital note? So my ordinary share capital note, you're actually going to do a little one like this for yourself, because it's going to make your life easier when you do this. And I want you to show you how easy it is to actually do it somewhere here on the note itself. So what you do is you just do a line and a line. Ne? So the first, I've got 1.2 million. Ne? Can you see what I'm doing? And the amount is, so I'm using this as my format. So I don't have to redo everything there. You get what I'm saying? So, the issued at 10 Rand was given. So I can just say sell shares for million. But remember, a lot of times they don't give that to me. A lot of times this is my balancing figure. Right? So they were going to check that you transferred that. Okay. Now, the 34,000 shares were repurchased at R1.90 per share. Can you see? This is why I had to do the note to get the average price. So now I'm going to say 34,000 shares, at, and I'm going to take the 760 plus the 190. Can you see? The average and the above average. These two. So this one and this one goes there. You see? And that gives me what? 950. Is it R9.50? So now, can you see? This is how much I actually paid. Can you see what they could have said here? We repurchased it at R9.50. Then I know that is the total price that goes to the cash flow. Because what is the cash flow? It's the money going out of my pocket. And so if I pay R9.50 for it, doesn't mean the average is R9.50. Okay. So this gives me what? And remember your bracket. Why? Because I'm buying. Whenever I buy or I pay, it's a bracket. Remember the brackets. Ooh, I've got a million papers here. Sorry. So, how much is this?
83,000.
Thank you. Okay. Happiness. That's next one. Loan. So now, the loan, they give you in different words. What's wrong, baby? Okay. You can have your paper back. So if I look at the loan, can you see this time they were nice, but this time they give me a question mark for the opening. So again, I'm like, really, dude? So you just say 544 less, and you leave it. Because this thing, they want you to most probably do a very big calculation. Okay, so leave it. Because I cannot see how to get a loan just by pulling it out of the air. Okay. Here they give me loan. Monthly installments 97,120 includes interest. Interest capitalized 68. So now let's quickly go look. If I say 97,120 times 12, how much did I pay back on the loan? Okay. Now, this is the payment on the loan. In other words, what I'm looking for here. Nee? And interest. They give me interest. So let's take out the interest. The T, I can't because I don't have an opening or a closing. But my bank here is going to be the 116,5440, and the interest is the 685,440. There is no closing. They didn't give it to me. Oh, 5440. But it's still, you won't be able to calculate because they didn't give you the opening. How? Oh, yes. I'm tired. You can balance the sides. So here we go again with our balancing. You get the balancing now, ne? You shop with the balancing. Can you see what he's saying here? So I see I short this side. So I know this side is equal to that side. So I plus and I minus and I equal, and it gives you 520. $480. Did I minus like a Saturday morning? Okay, So it's 480. Yeah. So it's 480. I paid back 480. Everybody sharp? Yeah, I didn't minus right. Is everybody happy? Can I go on? Okay. So, the closing here, I know. What do I know? I need the bank overdraft in brackets at the cash and cash equivalents. Okay? So, let's go look. There's the bank overdraft. There's the cash and cash equivalents. And there's again a question mark. But I'm not scared because I can at least do this one. Eh? So I'm ignoring you. Huh? What 480? No, oh, this 480 is not my opening. No. Yeah, it is. Let's go back. You are right. Where's my T? Where did I do the T? So the 480. No, if I say 116 plus this minus this, what do I get the opening? Come. 10. And then you still needed to minus those two. And that gives me the 480. Thank you for being awake. Okay, is everybody sharp with this? So, if we follow Mpile's method, you get the opening balance. Thanks, Mpofu. Okay. Now, I still need to see how much did I pay off. Huh? Is the 480 wrong? Okay, so let's just take my calculation here. Okay, so it's right. Is it right? You have to practice with your calculator more, ne? No, it's not his fault that you don't use him. Okay, are we sharp? Sharp, you saw what I did wrong. Can you see that my original method is shorter and quicker? Because I know that this bank here is the opening less the closing, ne? At the interest. So if they give me this and the interest, I can get the opening less the closing. It's a shorter method. Okay. So let's go to the cash. So the cash says, the opening, the beginning, I have a negative 142,680. I have a positive 36. Ne? So it's going to give me a negative of how much? 1. And can you see I don't need to have the cash for new year because I've got the change already. So 296 minus 106 gives me 1897. Okay. Wait, baby, do that. I'll put it there. So I took the bank overdraft look at your questions. Do you have the, okay, let me show you. I took the overdraft, nee? I bracketed this, and I added the cash.
I see here. 6,000 in the same line.
Yeah. Same here, ne? Because all your cash is most cash, petty cash, cash float, bank. But bank can be an overdraft. You see?
Where is it? Oh,
The two things.
oh, and then this one, 0, the question mark.
And then this year they didn't give me the cash. But I can work it out because I've got the change. What is wrong? What is wrong?
What is wrong? Yeah, we get it. Which part of the loan?
And when you find a difference, it's wrong.
Okay, so let's try it again.
Wrong.
That, if I say 97, 120 times 12, I get 116,5440. Is that what you get? Did you get that? They give me the interest is 0.44,586. So subtract it. No, I'm not worried about the T account. So it's 480. If I do the T account, so I've got the opening, which is X. I don't know the opening. I've got the interest 685,440. I've got the bank 116,5440. I've got the closing 544,000. Now, let's balance. If I total for me, what do you get?
102. Oh, the total.
Yes. 660,440. So the side is also 660,440. So to get the opening, I say 660,440 less 685,440. What do I get?
102.
Can you remove that 0 there? You're confusing me at the 5. It looks like a million.
I don't know where you are referring
This
to.
one, see a closing there. It looks like a
Then it's
million.
592.
It is 5,440. It is a million. Huh?
592 first, remember, we need the 0.
I don't miss nothing. I write down what you guys tell me.
What's the opening?
So, please tell me, what is the opening? Let me say 660,5440 less 685,440 gives me 5,920,000.
You made a mistake. You wrote 102, 4,000.
I didn't make the mistake. Someone gave me that answer. I wonder who. I will not say names. But now if I get the difference between those two, it gives me 480. But thank you for keep on trying.
Yeah, next try.
I was seeing millions, and then there's 1,000 there.
How?